Hello, Gold Class Monkeys. So I wanted to finally give you the ending of the rubber egg experiment that we did. I've had my egg in my jar in vinegar on my counter for all these days. And so I finally want to take it out and show you what happens to the egg. So if you did this experiment at your house, you can take your egg out of the jar and you will see, hold on just a second, let me see if I can scoop it out with a spoon. Okay, so I don't want to get too much vinegar out of there. Okay, so if you can see this right here, um, when we put the egg in, it was just a regular egg I took out of the fridge, and it had obviously an eggshell on it, like eggs do, but the egg no longer has an eggshell on it. So what happens when you put it in vinegar is the shell is made of something called limestone. And so when you put it in the vinegar, the acid in the vinegar has a reaction with the shell, which is why immediately when I put the egg in, if you remember, there were lots of bubbles around the outside of the egg that kind of when they were going to the top. And so the acid in the vinegar breaks down the shell, and so it no longer has a shell. And so the bubbles that we saw that were all over the outside of the egg, and if you did it at home, you saw that. That is that's carbon dioxide that was made. That's a gas that was made as a result of that reaction. And so the gas was the carbon dioxide, and that's what the bubbles were. So it no longer has a shell, and it's kind of a solid, like I can kind of squeeze it a little bit. So it's when you break open an egg, it's all liquidy. The yolk is a little bit more solid, but now the whole thing is kind of solid. And so I'm going to show you that I can put it down here on, I'm going to tilt this down so you can really see it. I can put it down here on the, it's like a ball now because it rolls around. And actually, if you look really close, you can see that, especially when the sun shines through it as it rolls and stuff, I can see the yolk inside of it. So it's not like it's solid all the way through, because I can see the egg yolk in there moving around, the yellow part, but it is kind of rubbery on the outside. Whoa. And it's also a little bit bigger. So the other thing that happens in addition to the vinegar breaking down the shell and dissolving it, the water in the vinegar actually absorbs into the egg itself. It's a process called osmosis. And so water absorbs into the egg. And so the egg is actually bigger. Like if you were, what I should do is show you like a hard-boiled egg compared to this one, because this is definitely bigger than if you just hard-boiled the egg. It's bigger because the water from the vinegar went into the egg, went through the membrane of the egg, and so now it's bigger. But you can see it's rubber egg, so it rolls around kind of like a ball. I can drop it on here a little bit. Let's see if I can do it this way so you can see better. So see, it kind of bounces. Now, I couldn't drop it from a really big distance because it would break, but it is kind of bouncy now, which is why it's called the rubber egg experiment. So you can kind of bounce it a little bit, which is kind of amazing. But this is what happened to the egg. So if you did that at home, I hope that you enjoyed that. If you didn't, and now that you know how it turns out, you could do it at home now, and you will get a rubber egg that kind of bounces. So I hope you like that. Bye, Gold Class Monkeys.